Yeah, we've picked a nice spot, haven't we, to have a chat with Jamie Carragher and catch up with last night. Jamie, thanks for talking to us. First and foremost, new formation that Gareth Southgate tried last night, flat back four. Did it work?
Well, it worked from a defensive point of view. We got a clean sheet out the game. I actually liked it. Really, I don't think we were at our best. I think it was a difficult game. We know that the atmosphere, the pitch wasn't great. But it wasn't so much a back four, it was flipping between two systems, which I think at this level now is what the top levels should be able to, or the top players should be able to cope with at this level. And I've seen other teams do it in the World Cup. I think Belgium did it quite successfully in the World Cup, where you actually defend with one system and with the ball you're slightly different in another system. So at times with the ball it was three at the back, Eric Dyer dropping in between the two centre-backs, and he'd then push into midfield. He'd have a better shape when defending. And I think Gareth mentioned before the game this is the way he wants to go, maybe a back four in terms of defending against the better sides. So it'll be interesting to see if he does actually change when you come up against so-called inferior teams.
I remember talking to you before the game and we said this was a big opportunity for Ross Barkley. His first start in almost 2.5 years for England. Did he take that opportunity for you? He
did okay. I think he'd like to have done better, but I think you could say that for every attacking player on the pitch, really. As I said, it was difficult. Wasn't much space on there. Every time the ball comes, he had to take that extra touch because of the pitch. And I'd like to see him get another go in Spain, in Seville. Yes, it'd be a difficult game. You'd expect Spain to have a lot of the ball, but they expect the pitch to be better, maybe a little bit more open. The game, maybe we can see what he can do a little bit more, because there's no doubt he has the ability. We've seen that for Chelsea in fits this season, certainly at Southampton at the weekend. So I'd like to see him give another those. It was one of those nights where it was difficult to really perform well for an attacking player.
Some suspensions that will come into Gareth Southgate's thinking for this next game against Spain. I mean, he's lost a lot of players through injury. Dele Alli, Jesse Lingard, Luke Shaw, Danny Rose, etc. He's now going to lose Jordan Henderson and John Stones because they've picked up a couple of bookings. How's that going to affect it? What sort of changes do you think he'll make?
Well, you'd imagine Gomez had come in at the back for how well he started the season in the Premier League for Liverpool. Not just started, I mean, been outstanding at centre-back along with Virgil van Dijk. So you'd expect him to slot in there, playing in a back four for his club. Midfield with Henderson, maybe Harry Winks. I mean, I think he performed really well for Spurs against Barcelona a week or so ago in the Champions League, up against similar type of players again. Won't be easy, but you think in Seville on Monday night, we're going to have to do as well as we can to keep the ball, because it will be difficult against Spain. And he's probably as good as anyone in the squad who can come in for Jordan Henderson in terms of technical ability. You
mentioned Spain there. What is it a bigger challenge than it was against Croatia? And I remember asking you before the game yesterday. I said, look, if Gareth Southgate loses the game, is he under pressure? And you laughed at it, and I totally understand why. But there's been a period now where England haven't got results, and they're playing one of the best teams in the world again on Monday night. It's difficult, isn't it, for them?
Well, that's been England's problem for a long time. It's not Gareth Southgate's problem. It was our problem. We were playing with a problem before that. England have real problems coming up against the top sides. I don't know how long it is since we beat them. Certainly in a competitive game, and these are competitive games. You go to tournaments as well. No matter how good we look back at the World Cup, and it was fantastic. It was a great summer. Everyone enjoyed it. But as soon as we come up against a side who you'd say was on our level or slightly above us, in Croatia, we lost. Really, and before that, we'd always played teams who we'd fancy ourselves against, really. So that is the problem coming up against Spain. It is difficult. It will be, and I think this game is the game where it's as much about performance as result, really. Yes, the most important thing is we want to get a result, because we haven't won a game yet in the Nations Cup. But I think we all know going there it's going to be really difficult. I think every England supporter watching at home will know it's going to be difficult. So you want to actually see the team do things in the game that actually gives you a bit of hope going forward that this team is sort of kicking on from the World Cup, because it will be difficult to get a result. We know that. 10 goals in the last 2 games for Spain. I think 6 against Croatia, 4 against Wales. So I think there's no way they'll be underestimated for sure.
Jamie, thanks for talking to us. That's Jamie Carragher, who'll be part of our Sky Sports team as well, heading to Seville, along with the rest of us at Sky Sports News as well, because that game is live on Monday night, and it's a real challenge for England, isn't it? Croatia and Spain in the space of 4 days. That's a tough challenge for Gareth Southgate and his men.